Hey, Clearbox, what's up, dude? Yes, you are first. What's up, man? Oh, dude, Potion. Discord is a cesspool, man. Also, hey, Yerb, what's up, dude? Happy Sunday. Or Monday, depending on your time zone. Either way, happy day. There we go. No, Clearbox, I have not done any bug bounties. They kind of became a thing after I was already working in offensive security professionally. So it felt kind of weird. I tried it for a little bit, but it just kind of burned me out because it felt like I was working my day job for my salary and then in the evenings for tips. And so, no, I never really got into doing bug bounties a lot. I like to watch the space and see what's happening. A lot of people are really frustrated with HackerOne right now because they've changed some of their reporting requirements. But that's a whole different story there. All right, it is time. Got the Jaka open. Let's kick it off. Let's see if everything's working. Let's see. Hey, all right, everything actually worked. Let's go. What's up, everybody? And apparently I've got a hole in my lip, and I just spilled my drink. All down my front. Fantastic. 10 out of 10. Smooth brain moment. Working for tips is pretty accurate. It kind of is, man. Because, yeah, you can go find some cool stuff, and you can make some really cool bank on there, but for the most part, a lot of times the outcome is going to be completely dependent on the person. So I like bug bounties, don't get me wrong. I think they're a very cool idea. Just because something's not for me doesn't mean it's not cool. You know, what was it? Olympic swimming's not really good for me, but, you know, going watching Michael Phelps go out there and absolutely dominate, that was fun. So it's kind of the same thing. I treat bug bounties as a spectator sport. Hey, Disclosure, what's up, dude? All right, hang on. I was gonna have Dixie working on something in the background here real quick. What system is this? Wing data. All right, hang on. I was gonna have Dixie run through some of this. Is that the right one? Wing data? Yeah. There we go. Make a run on wing data at there.
I'm back, baby.
Hey, 57. What's up, dude? I had, thankfully, one of the chillest Sundays I've had in a long time. So, let me make sure. So I'm testing out something. So I've got the Hack Smarter VPN up, and I've got the Hack the Box VPN up. I want to make sure this is going to try and like actually get it correctly real fast. So I can have Dixie go through and get some more reps. So this time I've got him working on a retired machine, so I can actually show like what he's doing on stream. But for the most part, I'm just gonna let Dixie run in the background while we go through the next one for Hack Smarter and have a little fun with it. No, I've not watched anything from Defcon yet, although I was thinking about trying to go through and gather up a bunch of the talks and maybe do a recap on it on like some of the more interesting ones. I think a lot of the talks from Black Hat may even be on YouTube now. I'm not sure. I think they were. I'll have to go double check. Some of the talks was fire. Oh, yeah. I had a number of friends going and presenting at Black Hat and Defcon. And so a couple of them, I got free previews of everything. Hey, Question, what's up, dude? I got free previews of like what they were presenting, and yeah, just from what they showed me, right? And that's a very thin slice of like what's happening. And so, how to beat the facial recognition was hellafire. Oh yeah, dude, I'll definitely have to go check that one out, especially with all of the massiveness going around. What is this? Oh, it's trying to curl this. Okay. All right, looks like that's working. Good. I'll let you work there for a second. With everything going on around all the flock cameras, I'm sure that's a huge deal right now. Okay, those are all working. Can I rename these tabs? Rename session. Oh, sweet. I didn't know I could do that. Hack Smarter. There we go. Let's see. What are those? Those are my two VPNs. I'll just close that one out. There we go. Let's see. So what are we working on the next one here? Let me pull that up real quick. That one's cooking. All right. Welcome, easy. By the way, if you guys want to go hop into the event that's going on for HackSparter, it's free for another 3 hours. So feel free to go hop in there. It's a lot of fun. There's one called Arasaka. Oh, nice. I get that reference because I've been binging while I've been working. On my side monitor over here, I've had videos up of like gameplay from Cyberpunk 2077. So I was like, I get that reference. I got that reference. Let's see. I find it funny that the welcome one comes after Shadowgate. That is kind of funny in here. Do you probably use Linux at work? It depends. So for like whenever I'm actually doing like my penetration testing, yes. But when I'm doing like my day-to-day activities, no, I'm using a Windows system. Although I am hoping that very soon I will be able to switch over to a Linux system because there's been some changes with our IT system. So hopefully I can do that. I probably could have done it already, but there's sometimes it's important to know when it's nice to break the rules, when to ask for permission versus ask for forgiveness versus permission, and when to just not bother burning any social capital on the fight. There was a map online yesterday about how many states had flock cameras taken down. Yeah, oh yeah, every state has them. Hold up, was the map taken down or was like when they were taking down those flock cameras? There you go. Let me go see if I can reach this system real quick. Let's see, what are we doing? Mector welcome. Is that what this one's called? Yeah, just welcome. Oh wait, did I just do, hold on, did I just do that? No, okay. Let me do that. Let's do this. Echo this over to TXT. And then let's see if we can ping that real quick. Okay, cool. That one's up. Nice. Nice. All right. Also, hey, Ty, what's up? The word researcher is getting my LinkedIn seen. Nice. Dude, by the way, Ty, I will look at that info when I get a chance. I just haven't been on my computer a ton today. At home, it's a mixture of systems. It's at home disclosure, I use a mixture of Windows and Linux. So for example, this system, the streaming computer, they're both running Windows. Although I might just get a wild hair. I'm getting so frustrated with Windows. By the way, I finally dug in last night to figure out what had changed and what was going on with the streams. So I wanted to give you all an update on that. What happened was this. So inside of OBS, there's a plugin I use called RTMP Multistream. So it's really cool because it lets me, instead of just being able to send one real-time protocol to like Twitch, it lets me send them simultaneously to YouTube and Kick. Okay, cool. Well, the way you configure this is OBS is currently set up to send directly to Twitch over here. And then what RTMP Multistream does is it sends over to YouTube and Kick like this, right? Well, the problem was there's a little bit of a fault with how it works, and I had the YouTube backup also configured in there. But there's actually one other kicker that happens with this, and that is there's also technically another stream happening to disk because I record all the live streams to disk. So what's happening here is I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 encoders going. And this is not a very beefy box, but it is a dedicated box. So it's designed to handle just doing the streaming stuff. That's still way too much in here. So what I'd done is the disk and the Twitch ones stayed the same. This one right here for YouTube backup, gone. There's not really any reason to have the backup stream, especially since both of them are coming from this computer. It just didn't make any sense. And then the kick one actually got a new reference over here to this. So now there's actually only 3 running in here, 1, 2, and 4, because YouTube and Kick can actually use the same encoder and just broadcast to different network paths. So far, everything on the stream is looking very nice and stable. So that's what I was doing last night after the stream. And it's like, I got to figure out what's happening. What did I break? What did I change? Ugh, it was a pain. So we'll keep an eye on it. So far, both streams are like rock solid. Everything's looking pretty sharp. For some reason, Kick is still only at 720p 60. I don't know what's going on with that, but it's at least it's working. Wait, hold on. Disclosure. Who took a network down for an entire city? Because that would have been big news, and I was surprised I didn't hear about that. I heard that one town had a Blade Runner come through and get every camera in town overnight. No way. No, if you find a story on that, send that to me. Yeah, let me know if you find that, because that sounds pretty freaking funny. All right, let's dive in here. Let me pull this up real quick. So what do we have for the second challenge, which is Le Welcome here? Joe, let's see, scope and objective. I almost tried to say scope objective. Yeah, that works out really well. Scope objective. You're a member of the Hack Smarter Red Team. During a phishing engagement, you were able to retrieve credentials for the client's Active Directory environment. Use these credentials to enumerate the environment, elevate your privileges, and demonstrate the impact for the client. So we've got a user flag and a root flag we want to capture. So let's go ahead and grab these real quick. What am I going to do, an old school RuneScape stream? Oh, Zach, dude. I never got into original RuneScape, let alone like the new old school RuneScape in there. Actually, if I was going to start a new series on like the gaming side of things, I would probably start doing that as, and I'd probably would honestly go set up like a secondary, like maybe Blaise Bits Plays or Hacker Plays or something channel for doing that. But I really, really want to play Cyberpunk 2077. It looks so good. It's going to be a while though. I'm still tweaking everything with the video production pipeline, trying to speed it up and get it to where it's not taking me, 16 hours to produce a video. And that's about how it feels right now. I think it's taking me roughly an hour per minute of video that I'm producing. Let's see. Hold on, what is this? Let's see. Suisun City, a Northern California municipality of approximately 30,000 residents, shut down the entire computer network on August 9th, 2026, following a cyber attack that compromised CI. Ooh. I have done some pen testing for a lot of municipalities, and dude, they've been a bit wild. There was one in particular. I know I've told y'all this story in here, but the way they saw everything was that they had one domain, and if you compromise one domain, you've compromised everything in the domain. So what they had is they had something like City Hall, and then they had the police department over here, right? And they seeded me into City Hall, right? So like, here's their DC. I was somewhere down in the network over here. So we'll say like, this is my attack box. But the problem is they had a dedicated domain controller here, right? But these two networks were actually connected because they're in the same Active Directory. So same domain here. So they were absolutely certain I could not get into the police department. And when I sent them screenshots of me being in the fingerprinting computer, they're like, okay, stop there. Don't go any farther, please. And the reason is because, like we were talking about in the last stream. Hey, Dusty Clouds, thanks for coming online, man. What I was talking about in the last stream, right? If you understand the protocols and how they're all working, domain controllers, by their definition and their nature, have to be linked and they have to be able to sync to each other, which means they have to be able to talk. So if I compromised one domain controller, you can hop to another one. So I just did a little bit of PowerShell action, hopped over to this one with a remote PowerShell session, and bam, had it. Hold on, let me look at these links y'all just sent real fast. Someone cut down every single flock camera in one night. Oh, good gravy. Let me look at that real quick. Leaving about $24,000 in damage and no suspect. How many cameras was this? Oh, so they only had 8 in there. But that's still pretty wild. Okay, hang on. I'm going to throw this up for the Wednesday night news stream real fast. Did I even set up the new news stream thread? I don't think I did. Nope. Okay. Let's go set that up. Let's see. Create thread. By the way, guys, if y'all have news stories that you want to see covered and we can talk about them, there is a thread up on Discord. And there's one for each week. So what is the Wednesday is the 12th. Let's see. August 12th, 2026. And feel free to drop links in there and we'll go through them. We'll go through as much as we can on the news stream. We usually don't get through everything, but I'd like to have that in there so we can go pull the most interesting ones. Let's see. Someone wiped out an entire Minnesota municipality. Oh my, hold on. Let me check that one real quick. Yahoo News. Damn, I haven't been on Yahoo in forever. No, go back, you dirty. There we go. Oh, this was their entire flock camera network. Okay, so same story, different angle. Nice. Still funny. Those AI cameras are real trash. My buddy got a ticket on one, and he had a totally different state the day it happened. That's not the only story I've heard about that, Gumby. I've heard many stories about that. Could you not use AI to help with the editing? Oh, you mean for the videos? Actually, it's a part of the pipeline, and I'm trying to actually... Here, I'll show you real quick. So, this is the new Blaise Bits studio. It is still very, very rough alpha state. But what happens here is I can come through and I can add in all the sources that I want to look at in here. And then from here, we make what's called a claims ledger. The claims ledger goes through and it keeps track of like anything that we're going to be claiming or referencing in the news article. It's going to be extracted over into here. And then the brief is kind of like how I'm structuring the video, where I come through and like, okay, here's like the escalation. Here's the basics of what was missed, the rhetoric versus the reality. So it kind of storyboards everything out. And then finally, the script hasn't been generated yet, but once I get the fact brief reviewed and I was like, okay, this is how I'm going to bullet point the video and lay it out, then come through and create the script and look at everything from this. And eventually even have like all the SEO and thumbnail generation baked into this. So this is one of the side projects I've been working on right now, is getting all this stuff kind of up and running. Apparently, Google's AI was telling people that flock cameras were full of gold and copper. Nice. Let's go. Yeah, sorry for the flashbang. I'm still working on all the CSS for the studio project. Let's see. Oh, wait, we were looking at this. Sorry. Shiny thing syndrome. Let's go take a look at what we got. So let's do a very quick in map here. Yeah, sure, we'll just let that run real fast. I don't remember why I ran that nmap command, but you know what? We'll just reuse it. We'll let it go through and we'll see what's running on that system. Oh, Ty, I just saw your message there. Hold on, I'm going to drop it in... I'm going to drop it in the thread there. There we go. Ty, that's the thread where they come up in there. There we go. Let's see. They do have a small amount of gold and copper in them, but probably not worth much. I mean, there's a lot of memes going around about people telling, let's call them scrappers, to be nice and, you know,
somewhat opaque about it, that they were people with unseemly habits, you know, that require a lot of funds to maintain. That basically how much copper is in a data center. Although I've been in plenty of data centers and the security there is pretty hardened, but those people get pretty creative too. Yeah, scrappers. Let's call them scrappers. Let me see how long this is going. Ah, there we go. Okay. So we've got, looks like we have a basic DC. Actually, no, we don't have a DC stack. We've got a very basic Windows stack happening in here, right? We see ADWS, we do see LDAP, but it's interesting we don't see Kerberos on here. See that? Interesting we see LDAP SSL, but no... Let me see something real quick. Let me clear that up. Very interesting that we're not seeing that. Let me try this again real quick. Hold on. That's not what I want to do. Hang on. I'm going to do one more scan. I'm just going to run everything up to... That's it. I'm going to do top ports. Top ports 5,000. And then we'll redo this one. Let me take out this SU, and then let's see, service version light. I think that's it. Oh, it's LIGHT. Is it just version light? Oh, it put in the news article. Son of a biscuit. Son of a biscuit. Hang on. Let's get our basic recon going here. I probably should go try doing Rust scan. There we go. Okay. We'll let this run for just a second. We'll see what's going on with it. Actually, while that's running, let me go see what Dixie's up to. Found an SSH key and admin interface. Okay, cool. So Dixie's doing some work. So if you're wondering why I've got Dixie running through a bunch of easy ones on Hack the Box, it's because I want Dixie to run into problems. And the easy ones are the best place to go run into those. So I've got Dixie running through there because as it runs into problems, Dixie has a memory system. So it goes through and does like a self-reflection after it completes a system to say what went well, what didn't, and where to improve, and like what was the actual path forward on some of those things. And then I can go through and I can review those memory candidates and upgrade them to like permanent memories and more or less tradecraft. Let's see. So what do we have? Interesting. So we've got a simple DNS. We do have Kerberos sec up, but no Kerberos. Interesting. We do have LDAP now. So this was kind of funny because LDAP wasn't showing up here, right? But we did see LDAP SSL, and now we do see LDAP, but Kerberos didn't show up. So this does look like it's going to be a domain controller. So let me do one other thing. We've got some seeded credentials for this one. Let's grab those real quick. Let me echo those. Put those in creds.txt. There we go. And then let me do something here. Let's do a little bit of export. We'll call this user. That's not what I want to do. Not echo, export. Export that, and then we want to export our pass, and then what I'm going to do is drop this right over in here. Boop. And then let's go run those real quick. Let's go see what we're dealing with here. So we've got our... Actually, let me do one more. What was our target? Target, there we go. Nope, not like that. Export target. And what we're going to do is we're going to put in that IP address. 10.0... I can't type. 20.177. Let's do that. There we go. Now I can just do this. So, NXT target. Target, And then we'll do tag U. Let's see. User, tag P, pass. We'll let this just kind of run and we'll see what happens with it. So you could say recursive analytics? Yeah, kind of, Caviar. Because the idea is, so the whole idea for this kind of came about because one of the very first systems, it was a very simple telnet exploit where you could basically pass in a string to execute as a command. But to do that, Dixie started like crafting his own telnet client in Python. And I was like, hey, you know, you have tmux and you have a telnet client. Why don't you just use those together? And afterwards, it's like, okay, cool. So now he's got a memory that says prefer actual TTYs or PTYs over hand-rolled systems. Okay, here we go. Where are we at? Domain is welcome.local. Okay. You copy that. Let's export that, actually. So, domain's going to be welcome.local. Let's actually go spit up some notes real quick here, because I should have done that. Let's see, what was our... I'm just going to grab this stuff real quick. We'll grab all of this. Copy. We'll do it just like this. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. S, copy that. Bring this down here. Just organizing our notes a wee bit. Let's see, let's get that domain also. Just like that. And then we'll keep the output from NXC, but I need to go get the nmap output too. Here we go. Let's go get some nmappy output, just like so. We'll get it right to there. Copy. There we go.
I can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair.
You're so full of crap. I don't even know who did that. Oh, Potion? Yeah, definitely. Potion's definitely full of crap. Hey, guy, what's up, dude? I hate it here. Can you sponsor me, Daddy? I know, man. If I would if I could, man. Potion is a good sport, though. That's why I like all you guys. Y'all are funny. All right. Let's see what we can do with this. Let's go check and see what shares we've got available here. Wait, hold on. Where was our net exec? There it is. All right, so let's look at our shares real quick. We can also go check LDAP. Oh, there's a sock. Stay very quiet. Don't move. Her motion is based on I messed it up. Her vision is based on movement. Don't move. Thank you. Sock brought me tea. Awesome. She does have a strong arm. She's surprisingly buff. Ooh, what do we have here? We have a human resources share. Interesting. I just noticed that whoever this E Hill person is, their password is I love my job 2025. Oh, you thought it was actually broken? It was just your volume? Gotcha. No, I try to make sure I do a sound check before I start the streams and make sure like all the TTS stuff is working. Okay, so let's do this real quick. Copy. Let's go grab a note of this. I tell you what, let's make another thing. Let's call this our to-do. All right, so our to-do list. We need to... Actually, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to do this markdown style. Check human resources SMB share. Why can I not type? There we go. Let's check that. Another thing we need to go check is, let's go check LDAP. Actually, you know what we could probably do? Let's just... User. Nope, that's not it. Users. Let's go check our users here real quick. Okay, we've got some in here. Not too shabby. Let's do, I think it was through LDAP. And then I think it's Bloodhound. Hang on one second. Let me look at that real quick. I think it's Tac Collection DC only. Let's go ahead and grab a Bloodhound collection real quick. Because these creds work and LDAP should be exposed. Even though LDAP didn't show up, I think LDAP S did. Wait, what was Get Right? What's this bug you fixed over in Hermes? Interesting. Oh, okay. Very cool. Nice. Yeah, eventually I will probably be back mainlining Linux again. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't give it the domain here. So domain, there we go. Let's do that. Oh, that was the downloading program. Dude, I remember having to use those back in the day, man. What? Oh, I think I need to, hang on one second. Target here. What was our host name on this one? Host is DC01. Okay, we need to go drop this into Etsy host real quick. Let's do sudo vim Etsy host. We're done with that one. Let's go. We do that. And then this would be, crap, what was the domain? Lose my mind. Hang on. Let's see. Domain welcome.local. Okay. This would be welcome.local and dco1.welcome.local. There we go. Maybe that will fix this. Oh, I used that when links were malformed or broken to see what the page was supposed to be. Oh, interesting. So, yeah, I used a bunch of those download schedulers way back in the day when I was on dial-up, because if you wanted to go download an MP3, it was like 3 to 5 megs, right? You could usually get 1 meg an hour at best on those. So I queued up a whole bunch. I was very fortunate. My parents had 2 phone lines because my dad was also a techno nerd. And typically I used the second phone line almost exclusively for my dial-up. And I just had a whole bunch of files of various formats, I'm not going to expound on that, queued for download. Does that need to be case sensitive? Very few things need to be case sensitive. So for example, if I ping dco1.welcome.local, you see it's coming back. But then if I change this to like capital welcome here, it's not going to care. DNS, for example, doesn't care about like uppercase and lowercase. DNS is always everything's lowercase in there. It would make typo squatting so easy if it didn't do that. Oh, you know what? I remember that we had trouble with Bloodhound through NXC. So forget what was the one that we used. Ah, damn it. Bloodhound Python. I think that was the one we used. Or was it Bloody AD? Hang on. I've got my notes from last night in here. Yeah, we could just use Bloodhound Python to do this. We could actually, you know what I want to go try out? Where's Rusthound? I want to go grab a copy of Rusthound real quick. Because I haven't tried that in a while. Rusthound is something else we could use for doing the download. Let's go grab a copy of that. The source code, I don't want to build it. Do I look like Bob? Damn it. It's gonna make it build it. Hold on. Rusthound is 3 years old. This release is 3 years old. Last updated 2 years ago. Okay. I'm gonna ditch Rusthound because Rusthound, there's been... Oh, wait, hold on. Here's Rusthound CE. Is this a different version? Updated last week? Okay. Ooh, okay. Let's go give this one a shot. This one is at least actively maintained. There's always new stuff being added to Bloodhound. So one that's 2 years old is fairly out of date. Shut up, baby. I know it. All right, let me grab this real quick. Copy, link. Let's go grab a copy of that real fast. Let's see, to tools. Let's go get this. There we go. And let's untar that. Let's do XFZ. What was this called? Rusthound. And then there's Rusthound C. Ta-da! Okay. Let's come back over here. So what we'll do is we'll use tools. Rusthound. Let's see what we need to do here. What options do we have? We need to give it a domain. So let's start with that. So that will be $domain. Right here. And then what else do we need to give it? TAC U, TAC P. Okay, standard options in here. So that'll be user, pass, and then what do we want to do for collection method? TAC C, let's do DC only, and let's see how it does. Oh, it's case sensitive. Why? Because Rust. That's why. Oh, goodness. There we go. I just took a very brief look at it real fast here. Hey, there we go. Let me make a file for this, or a blood. Let's see. And then move all of these ones here to Bloodhound. There we go. And then let's go add those in real quick. Oh, good. It saved the password because I was like, I don't remember what my Bloodhound password was. That was the wrong button. You saw nothing. Where is it? Administration. There we go. File ingest. Upload files. Let's go find those real quick. Let's see. Callie. Where's HackSmarter? HackSmarter. Welcome, Bloodhound. Get all that. Open. Upload. Okay, cool. So that's good. It's ingesting. Excellent. Nice. I think I've only accidentally doxed myself like 4 times. It's okay. Oh, so you created an app image, a Flatpak, and a snap for it. Okay, sweet. Okay, awesome. So now we can come back over here to explore. What was our user's name in here? Let's see, eHills. Let's go look at eHills in here. Boop. And let's go see what permissions we've got from eHills out of here. So, what is eHills a member of? Let's see. Domain users, authenticated users. Nothing spectacular in here. All of the certificate service DCOM access. Ooh, okay. Does that have a description on it? Members of this group are allowed to connect to certificate authorities in the enterprise. Okay. Interesting. We might have to go take a little look-see at that. For the most part, not a whole lot happening here, but... Wait, what am I trying to alt-tab? I'm in here. I'm trying to alt-tab back over to this. There we go. So, let's go take a look at what's in... I gotta remember how to use SMB client. Which SMB client is this? Oh, that is not the one that I was thinking of. Yeah, there we go. Let me use the Impact SMB client. Let's do this. Let's see. I believe it's just user at. There we go. So let's go connect over to that and we'll see what we can do here. So what we'll do is we'll do dollar domain /$ user $$ pass at $target. There we go. Excellent. All right. I think it's list. Is that the command? Shares. There we go. Use. Damn, what's the command here? I thought it was use. Yeah, it is use. Human resources. Well, that is unfortunate. Did I misspell it? I'm trying to remember what all the commands are in here. Chairs. There we go. Oh, there we go. All right. What do we have here? Ooh, we have some welcome items in here. Nice. Okay. Let's see. Can I wildcard that? Lame. Actually, I think there's an RGet in here. There is not. Dang it. There was, I think this is an older version of Impact's SMB client where it could do that. Gumby, why did you add a dice in there? Let's see. I don't want to go do each of these, man. Hold on. I thought there was a recursive download in here. There's get. Oh, there we go. It's mget. There we go. Mget. I think I could do that. Ah, there we go. Okay. Let's see. Quit. Exit. There we go. All right, let's go take a look at these files we've gotten here. What did we get? We got a whole bunch of welcomes here. So we got start guide. There's a password. What? Password. Let me in. I love my job. Did I already try password? I did. P at SSW0RD. P at SSW0RD. Exclamation point. Damn it! Let's see. What is this one? Ah! Flashbang. Let's see. Welcome packet for HR. Nothing much there. Handbook excerpts. Let's see. Dress code, business casual, break policy. All right, nothing there. Welcome benefits. You have 4 paid vacation days a year. Holiday schedule. What's our holiday schedule? Do I get Kwanzaa off? No Kwanzaa. Rude. But do get MLK Day off. Okay, gotcha. And Thanksgiving. Nice. At least day after Thanksgiving feels like it should be a give me. Nobody's going to go in on a Thursday and absolutely crush some turkey and then want to come in on the Friday after and get some work done. I'm just going to be real with you. Password is trust me, bro. Right? All right. Let's see. Let me see what tools I can use to maybe get the password for the PDF file. Oh, that's right. There's a PDF to John. Yeah, I forgot about that. Do I have that? PDF to John. There we go. Let's do that. This one would be this one. Welcome. Start guide. And let's output that to. Actually, let me see what it is. Okay. Spit that out to PDF.hash. There we go. And then I didn't know I could do that. Okay. That would have been handy to know a little bit ago. I don't even know what button I hit. Let's see. Now, let's go ahead and crack that. Let's do... Let's see. Let's do John word list. I think it's user share. Is it word list? Rack you. And then let's run that. We'll see if we can crack that password on the PDF real quick. Oh, you have to hit Alt F4? Gotcha. Oh, the password's human resources. That's funny. Okay. Let's put a note here. Copy selection. Because I believe, let's see. That was the only thing in there, wasn't it? Yeah, just those welcome guides in there. So, I'm losing my window. Here we go. So, we did this one. Boop. Got that. Let's make a note here of what we've got. So we got that. So let's go see what's in that PDF now. So what's in the starter guide? Nope, that ain't it. There we go. Human resources. There we go. Give me the big cash. All right. Temporary or default passwords. Well, let's go through this real quick. So your initial account setup. So your initial account will be created by IT and placed in the corporate directory under the user's OU. Temporary default password is welcome 2025 bang at. First login, you must change your password immediately to a secure password you control. Password guidance. 12 characters, upper lowercase, symbols. If you're unable to unlock it, call the help desk. HR documents are stored in the share drive. Only HR group members have access to such sensitive folders. Here we go. Service accounts are for IT use. Do not attempt to use or change them. Let's see. Change default passwords immediately and never reuse them across services. Well, we already have a list of users in here. Did I save that? I didn't save it. That's all right. We'll go get it. It's in the back scroll. Because what we want is, let's make a note of that. Doot. Okay. Let's see. Default user account password is welcome 2025. All right. So let's just grab a new list of the users. I'm too lazy to scroll back and find it again. Give me the list. Okay. There we go. Awesome. So let's go grab a copy of this. And then what we'll do is we're going to go make a list of all of our users in here. Passwords is then cred.txt. No, creds was our default password for eHills, which was like, I love my job. Let's see. iPark. J Crickets, eHills. Let's see. Who else do we have in here? We got Jed Johnson. I wonder if he works at the at a newspaper. Let's see. We have service CA, and then we got service web. So chances are this won't work for any of those, but we could go try these. So let's go grab that. Let's see. Users TXT. Let's drop that in there. Boop. And then let's go see if this default password works for anybody. So it's this one right here. Welcome to 2025. Copy. Actually, I'm going to take this. I'm going to put this over in the to-do. So let's do password spray. Default user accounts use this one. Because we're going to actually try two on here. So what we're going to do is, for our password, we're going to drop in this value right here. Boop. And then instead of user, we're going to use tag users.txt. Like this. There we go. Oh, is it not capital U? Is it still just lowercase u? Oh, there we go. Miss Harris did not change her password. Look at that. Booyah. Okay, so now we've got access to a second account in here because we found the HR documents. So let me copy that. Let's just put a note of that in there. You know what? We'll copy the whole thing. We'll take some good notes in here. Typically, actually, what I would have running during a real pen test is I'd have a logging script running in the background that basically makes a transcript of everything I've got going on in this right here. So with that transcript, I then go through and use that with a bunch of other logging. So whenever I'm doing like a penetration test or a red team, I'm going through trying to make sure I capture as much data as possible because of scenarios just like this where, oh, I forgot to go grab that output. Well, that might have been the only time I got that output. Something can always happen and block you from going back and getting that data again. Maybe something gets tripped. Maybe there's a flaw in it and it just happened to work that one time. Maybe it only works like 1% of the time when you run it. So capturing that information in telemetry also for after action reports, because you want to try and give your client as much information as you can, saying, this is the exact time we did this thing. Everything was going like this. So we want to make sure that they understand what's going on. Oh yeah, not sponsored by Jocko yet. One day, Jocko. Now I could be sponsored by Sock. Be a smart, excuse me. Be a smart idea for someone to have a script to check if people change their default passwords, then auto-generate an email to change the passwords. That would be true, but then you'd also have to like have a default password in there. So having a password policy like this, right, where they're like, here's your default password for everybody, that's terrible. What should happen is the IT folks should go in and they should basically randomly generate it and then have some kind of like out of bounds way to deliver that to the person. And then they go log in from their work computer and change it immediately, right? That would be the ideal way to do that. That's right, sticky note. Although what's even funnier is I just saw this little story earlier about this guy who, in I think it was 2008, was working in India and he was complaining about how bad the internet was. And he was arguing with his boss about it. And he said, it would be faster for me to send these files with a carrier pigeon. And they didn't believe him. So they actually went and got a carrier pigeon to go the 60 miles over to their office. They started the upload. They released the carrier pigeon, took the carrier pigeon, I think 2 hours to get there. And then another hour to download the files. It was like 4 gigs of files. I was like, God, what kind of slow computer do you have takes that long? Hey, Peaches. And the pigeon won. The pigeon with the USB stick won. Yeah, TCP over avian carrier. That's right. Shouldn't they force the password change whenever first logging in? They should, but also that only works in certain interfaces, Corrigan. So, for example, if I was like RDPing into that system, yeah, that would be it. But it could also, actually, there's one more we want to do in here. So let's see if anybody just incremented it by 1 and changed it to 2026. Okay, so nobody did that. That would have been extra funny. I was expecting someone to just be like, oh, okay, now we're in 2026. Boom. Hey, Corrigan, thanks for coming online. I still need to go set up the kick alerts. It should play like a little like dial-up sound whenever you follow the channel. So, but thank you so much. Appreciate it, man. Stop what you're doing. Watch. Oh God, what did you send now? Hang on 1 second. What the heck is this potion? This is my new home with the pigeon. Wow. I don't blame you, Corey. Actually, you'll be my. I've actually been having a lot of trouble on the kick side, so I went through. It's been crapping out on me after the stream last night and cleaned up a bunch of stuff in OBS. with the way the codecs and the encoders and the transmission data was happening. So hopefully Kick is going to be nice and stable tonight. Here's hoping. Share it with the crowd. All right, fine. It's kind of... I don't know what this guy is on here. Hang on one second. Let's see if I can pull it up real fast.
The police, they are after me. Report.
My question is, why is he Arnold Schwarzenegger there? That's the only voice I can hear.
I have escaped from the police. This is my new home with the pigeon.
The pigeon helps him in his crimes. He carries the USB stick.
Hello, pigeon. Somebody broke into my house. I cannot call the police. They are after me. What do I do?
You know what? If he's happy, I'm happy for him. That's all I'm going to say. You can also do USB stick via Vulture. Carry and transfer protocol. Yeah, that dude is a little bit out there. Okay, let me go look at something real quick. So if we've got Harris's password, let's go pop over into Bloodhound real quick and see what Harris has access to. Let's see. Do we have a role described for Harris? Let's see. Any description in here? Unfortunately, no. Okay. Harris looks like probably a member of the same groups. Yeah, all the same ones. They've all got this certificate service read over here. Let's see. Any other interesting permissions? Stop dragging it. Ooh, Harris. Hold on. I forgot to check something real quick. Hang on. Let me go back. Go back. Go back. I need to go look at E-Hall again real fast. Or E-Hills. E-Hills did have some outbound object controls. Ooh, what do we got here? Ooh, we have some certificate templates. Okay, let's go. So, this means, E-Hills has some permissions to go enroll in a couple certificate templates. So we might be doing a little bit more ADCS action in here. All right, now, let me go look at Harris. Does Harris have any additional permissions? Ooh, nice. Since Harris is a member of HR not following their own processes, I'm shocked. Well, not that shocked. But we now have generic all over to iParker, which means shadow credentials. Why? Because I love me some shadow credentials. Now, let's go make a note real fast of this. Let's go make a note here. All right, so we did the password spray. Boop, boop. All right, so what else do we got here? Let's say, let's make a little bit of note here. Here we go. Okay, so A.Harris is a member of, I'm gonna write this in like pseudo cipher. Member of HR, is that the group? Yeah, HR group. And then that group has generic all for some ungodly reason over, is this iParker or L Parker? I don't know. L Park, iPark, I don't know, I'm gonna copy it. Copy. It's an I, okay. Over iPark. Now, what does iPark have permissions to? Let's go follow the chain a little bit. So iPark, if it says, oh, sorry, you can't see this real quick. Sorry, my big old fat head's in the way. So if it's members of 8, all these other ones were members of 8. See that? So chances are probably the same like default group memberships in here. Actually, I take that back. Let's go look at it real quick. Let's see what he's a member of real fast. Let's see. Okay, so he's a member of IT. Nice. Let's make a note of that real fast. So actually, I tell you what, let's do it like this. We're gonna do some rough ASCII in here. Okay, so he is a, let's see, member of IT group. And then what else does he have in here? Also a member of help desk. So we're gonna do that kind of same thing in here. So he's a member of the help desk in here. Help desk is actually a really nice one to get because help desk might have password reset permissions. Arnold's the only appropriate impersonation. I know, right? All right. So everything else looks pretty standard over here. Let's go see what else he's got. So he was a member of this stuff. What about the outbound object control? Let's go take a look. Oh my gravy. We've got a lot of stuff in here. Service web, service CA. He can enroll in a whole slew of different certificates. Actually, this looks like the same 4 certificates in here. He can enroll in the CA. Yeah, help desk not following basic protections. I know, right? Let's actually go look at help desk real quick. Let's see. Outbound object controls from help desk. Yeah, this is exactly what I was looking at. Forced password change for service web, service CA. Now, the kicker is here. Yes, you can use this. Forced password change would be something like during an actual penetration test. Probably what I would do is go talk to the client and be like, hey, because if you go start changing and rotating passwords on service accounts, you're going to start busting stuff, right? So typically what I do is I would go work with the client to find some other way to get access to that account. And it would be like a white card, right? They'd give it to you and say, hey, by the way, we gave you access to this account because you already demonstrated that because you had compromised a help desk user, you could do this. Now, we haven't gotten to that point yet. We're theory crafting right now. So, hold on, I'm going to do something else. Let's do it like this. So, help desk has forced password change. I'm going to copy this real quick. Stop it. Stop it. There we go. Forced password change on 2 different accounts, service web and service CA. So, SVC web and then CA. That's real bad too, because if we go impersonate the CA, it's game over. We can just go start cutting our own certificates and our own certificate templates any way we want to in here. Part of the ADCS escalations is like going through and modifying the templates. With the pigeon. I just don't know why he was like Arnold Schwarzenegger in there. Let's go back a little bit. So let's go walk down this chain. So it looks like our, let's keep an idea of like what our chain here is. So from eHills, we had, we went to the human resources SMB server. SMB, grab PDF, cracked password, on PDF, and then from there, that gave us, we got the default password, and then let's do it this way. Got that default password, let's see, access to A. Harris. And then now is where we're going to start theory crafting it. So A. Harris, being a member of HR, has generic all over to iPark. So we'll call this our kill chain for funsies. So this is where we're working with right now. So let's go with that generic all. We can actually come over to iPark. Let me go back one more here. Go back. There we go. So let me see what it shows. So if you didn't know this about Bloodhound, you can actually come over here. Let me hide the camera real quick. You can click on the actual edge and then see like what the general information of it is. So this is also known as full control. This permission allows the trustee to manipulate the target object however they wish. And then it provides abuse primitives for like, here's how you could abuse this with Windows. But I don't have a Windows attack box set up, so we're going to go with the Linux abuse in here. So we could do a targeted carb roast in here. We could do a forced password change. We could also do shadow credentials with PyWhisker. I think we did shadow credentials. Did we use PyWhisker? I thought we did it with Bloody AD. What did we do? Yeah, we did it with Bloody AD. Yeah, we'll do that again. So we'll use Bloody AD to use Harris's account password and go set up a shadow credentials to iParker over here, iPark. Could that include the password reset back to the default password? It could, yes. You could, in theory, do that. As long as that password met the complexity requirements, which it looked like it did. Let's see. WELCOME 2025 and 2 symbols. Yeah, so it was 13 characters long. It had a mix of upper and lowercase. So yeah, we actually could go change it back to that if we wanted to. Let's see here. So let's go do that real quick. Actually, what we're going to do is, and rather than changing his password, what I like to do is do shadow credentials in there. Let's see. I think even... Let's go try something real quick. I think it might have been over here. Did I do it in here? One of these had... Oh, wait. This is the Team Muck session. That's why. Hang on. Yeah. Let's see. Bloody AD. Here we go. Yeah, so here's where we did it for last night, right? We gave it the target host, what we were doing, add shadow credentials. Actually, I want to go check this because I want to see if it has like a get option in here. Hold on, let me go check and see what Dixie's doing. Hey, let's go. So Dixie... Hang on one second. Let me capture these real fast. Venture mode. Let me see. Let me see what Dixie caught for this one. Okay. Let's see. Any new memories? And then let me go and stop that one real quick. So I've got Dixie just running in the background, popping a lot of these systems in here. I see sites that don't allow the reuse of the old password in a given time period. Yeah, because what it will do is... Hey, Omar, thanks for coming online, man. Welcome in, and happy Sunday, or Monday, depending on your time zone. But yeah, so a lot of companies, so you gotta remember, in Active Directory, by default, what it does is it keeps your current password and your like last used password. So what it will do is it will, when you go submit the new password, if it wasn't either one of those, then yeah, it would let you change it into it. But depending on how many times this person's changed their password or set it, you might hit that roadblock. But also doing a forced password change is going to be a little bit dicey because if someone's password randomly changes, that could throw up some flags if you're trying to be stealthy on a red team. Let's see. 3 new observations about Wing FTP and Python tar files. Okay, cool. Wait, let me export that. And then quit. And then what's this new one? Facts. Okay. Hang on, let me spin up Dixie real quick on this other system. There we go. Let's see. Make a run on facts at... Let me give it just a second to get the IP address so I can get Dixie running, and then we'll hop back over to the Hack Smarter Lab. There we go. Boop. There we go. Fly, Dixie, fly. Okay. Let's see. Bloody AD. And so let's do our host will be our target. That's not the correct one. Target. And then our username. Oh, you know what we need? We need to actually go set up some stuff for Madam Harris real quick. Let's go do that. Let's go back over here. I'm actually going to make a copy of... I'm going to take these out. This will just be like my running list of commands we ran. So we'll keep this up here now. Okay. So we'll make this user Harris like this. And that'll be a.harris. And then we'll do pass underscore Harris. And Harris's password is welcome 2025 X4A. There we go. Just like that. All right, let me bring these over. We'll get them set up. So I can't type. There we go. Nope, that ain't gonna work. There we go. And then let me grab the password real quick. Oops, we got the password. Let's drop this in right here. And the bars. Okay, there we go. Now we can go do some bloody AD. So let me clear this. So we'll come over here. We'll do bloody AD. Our target is still the same target in this case, Parche. And then our username will be $user underscore Harris. And our password will be, nope, that's not right. $pass Harris. And then, let's see, what was the other command there? Then after that, oh, we need the domain also. Let's do $domain. We should have the domain in there, right? Yes, we do. Awesome. And then let me do help in here. So what I want to do is, all right, I want to try get in here. Okay, what I want is, okay, bloody AD. What I want to know is, can I get the shadow credentials? Like, can I just go check them? I guess so. Let me try that. Get shadow credentials for i.park. Why are you saying this is the incorrect format? Do we only have add shadow credentials in here? Oh, it's host. It's not target. I'm an idiot. Yeah. Host. Error argument tag P expects one argument. Oh, yeah, you're right, Gumby. I did accidentally put 3 in there. I thought you may not put like too many R's in shadow credentials. Like, no, I got that right. So, also, by the way, hey Freedom, hey Main Troop, and hey Mars, what's up, man? Taking an ethical hacking course on Udemy. Nice, dude. I like Udemy. A lot of people don't, but you can get some really banger deals on Udemy. Like, go pick up classes for $10 to $15, and I really like it. I think it's good. In fact, my Udemy backlog is huge because there was some kind of a big sale, I want to say in 2007, on a whole bunch of like machine learning and data analysis stuff. And so I went and picked up like all these courses. I think like 20 of them. I think I picked them up for like $5 a piece. So I paid $150 for the whole year. Oh, nice, dude. Also, Runny Dude, what's up, man? Welcome in. All right, let me see if this will work now. Since I got the Harris thing unscrewed up. Oh, you know what? I forgot the camera was off. There we go. Bring that back up. Let's see. So forget shadow credentials is not a valid one. Hang on one second. I know there's a way to check this with Bloody AD. Because we can do raw LDAP queries with Bloody AD, if I remember correctly. And so we could go just do a raw LDAP query. Did I misspell shadow credentials? Is that the problem? Nope, didn't like. I was like, so forget argument, bloodhound, children, DNS dump, membership object, search trust, writable. Okay, so that one does not work. Hang on 1 second. Check out something. Let me grab this real quick. Copy. So apparently that used to work. Okay, that's what I figured we're gonna have to do is like get. We're just gonna have to do get object. Okay, that's fine. We can do that. So what we can do is we can get any object out of LDAP in here. So we'll do get object and we'll do iPark. And then now this would give us the entire thing back. We'll just run it. We'll get his entire object in Active Directory. It's going to be a big, long, ugly mess, but we can take a look at it. That is suboptimal. What happened here? Connection timed out? What? Do it again. Make sure I got this correct over here. Let me see. So if you ever want to know, like when you're doing a lot of the stuff with these helper variables in here, just echo it and you can check it. So password looks right. Host looks correct. Get object, iPark. Check the VPN. All right, let's go check it real quick. Let's see. I mean, looks like it's still up. Let's do a quick test here. Ping 3. Target. Okay. That should have gone through. Okay, you know what? Hold on. Let me wait for it. Let me just chill out. Make sure it's actually going to come up. We should have had plenty of time left on it, but maybe we got to restart the system. Because we haven't been going on it for 2 hours. And I believe the labs shouldn't reboot for every 2 hours. All right, here, let's do that. All right, restarted the VPN. All right, so that's timing out. Hold on, let me hop over into here real quick. Oh, stopped. What? That would explain it. It was stopped. Now it's starting up. Okay. Hang on, we got to give it a second now. In an SLS rocket, there's 5.7 million pounds. 5 million pounds is the fuel. Oh, yeah, dude. That's why I actually really liked Project Hail Mary, because the way they went through and solved the problem of like how do you get like pure energy density out using the astrophage was really freaking cool. I really liked that book. I enjoyed it a lot. The movie was pretty decent. It was a fairly faithful adaptation to what happened in the book. I liked it a lot. But the book is usually superior, and the book was definitely superior. Okay, now it says it's up and running. Let's go check it real quick here. I wonder what happened here. Hang on, let me go try this real quick. Hopefully the VPNs are not colliding with each other. No, that's working. Why did you stop? Literally, all he did was like go run an nmap scan, and this. I was like, "You're not supposed to stop there, bro. Keep going." Hack away. Your job is to do that. Okay. What is happening here? Let me see. We have ton 0. We have ton 1. This one, ton 0 should be our hack the box one. And then this one over here is our hack smarter one. Did our IP address change? Let's see. No, shouldn't have changed. Okay. That worked. Okay, don't know what happened there, but all right. Bloody AD, get me the object for iPark. Oh, wait, that was the echo. Hey, there we go. So, the downside to doing a get object is you get the entire thing. But the one thing we actually want to check is we want to do TAC A, and then it is the MSDS key credential link. So this particular field, let me move this up here. So this particular field, that MSDS key credential link, if it exists, that means there's already shadow credentials assigned to it. Oh, is it, I think it's TAC ATTR? So, nope, we didn't see it in here. And we don't see it in this list either, which this list should be in alphabetical order. So, members, key credential link. So, what does this mean? This means we should be clear to go add our own... We should be clear to go add our own shadow credentials to iPark. Wait, what? Windows box just wasn't all the way started when you pinged it after the restart? Oh, probably. That's probably what happened with it. Let's see, what are we getting? Oh, you know why? Actually, hold on. Client trust failed. Let's do another one here. Let's do export. DC is going to be DC 01 dot welcome.local. There we go. Let me grab a copy of that. Copy. We'll throw that up here too. So we're keeping track of like what we're doing with this. So rather than targeting the host, what we'll do is we'll target the domain controller. So that difference is one is using an IP address, one is using a host name in there. Oh, you know what? Dang it! I know what happened here. We need to go set. I know what we need to do. Hang on one second. NTP. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Welcome.local. We need to go set our clock to welcome.local. There we go. We forgot to set it. So it's trying to do this with Kerberos. It's failing. Hey, there we go. So what do we have now? We have a new RSA key. We've got a Ccache file for Mr. Parker, and we've got his NT hash right here. In the freaking bar. Copy. So let's go throw that down right about schmear. Boop. There we go. Doesn't the C need to be capitalized? It shouldn't. I mean, it'd be kind of annoying if it did. But the good thing is now what we have is, let's go make another thing here. So we can do user park, and that's going to be i.park. And then what we can do is we can say hash_park. That is going to be this hash ID right here, his NT hash. Boop. Just like that. And then we can go through, we can double check that real quick. So let me grab this real fast. Drop that right there. And same thing with this one. Let's export that. Ta-da! There we go. And so now what we'll do is, let's go test that real quick. So do D domain, U, B, user, park, and then I think it's tech, capital H. We'll find out. Ta-da! There we go. So now we've got access as park right here. Also, if we look right here, we should have an iPark PFX file right here. Ooh, now which one did it use? Oh, need to go figure that out. Hold on one second. Let me see. Because we need to make sure we've got the correct PFX file. I think it's going to be this FB one. No? Okay, hang on. Let me try something real quick. Let's do Shaw. Actually, hold on. I'm going to try this in a different terminal so I can keep this one a little bit clean. CD2. Welcome. And then let me try something real quick. 256 sum of iPark start. Because this might be a different SHA 256 sum that I'm looking at here. Let's see. So this one was CE69. Nice. 0F0. Nope, that's not the one I'm looking for. Let's see. What was the one I needed here? I want to make sure I know which one of those PFX files I need. Because one of them will let us get valid credentials and the other one will not. Also, yeah, good call, Gumby, on the... I just saw your message about the clocks being off, yeah. Hang on. Let's see. Let's see if this will work real quick. Let's see, what do we have? We have the HI1. And then let me try the other one in here. So that was the HI variant. Let's do the NE variant in here. Do either of those match what we're looking for? So we're looking for CE690F0. Neither one of those match. Why did he just say 2026 on here? Oh, I think they got created before that happened. Dear Lord, there's a price battle on OpenRouter for GLM 5.2. Wait, hold on. You're talking 25 cents per million output tokens? And 8 cents per million input tokens? Is that right? That doesn't sound right, Monkey. No way, right? I'm trying to just make sure I know which one this is, because, yeah, I could go test them real quick. Let me get straight, because GLM 5.2 is what I'm using right now with the Olama Pro sub. There we go. 8 cents per million input tokens, 25 cents per million output tokens. Damn! 94% off. I wonder what's happening there. That's wild. So normally this should be 75% and $2.40. Cached reads is 1.5 cents. That's nuts. Now the latency is a bit higher, and the tokens per second's a bit lower, but still, not bad. Let's see. So this was with the... Hang on one second. In 2028, Artemis is supposed to land people on the moon. Nova playing in the background. I haven't been keeping up with the Artemis missions as much as I really wanted to. All right, hang on. Let me try this little one-liner that Grok spit out real fast. I mean, I might just not worry about it, and if we need to do this again, since we have his NT hash, it's not such a big deal. It just bugs me that I've got 2 of them. Anyway, let's go look with, what do we have for our iPark in here? Hold on. Let's go update our kill chain real quick. Let's come over here. So where's our kill chain? So, access to A. Harris, we did Shadow Creds. Shadow Creds on iPark. And then if we look at where we were from iPark, he has IT and Help Desk permissions. We didn't actually look at what... Actually, Help Desk has force change on these, but he also has IT permissions. Let's go look at those real fast. Let's make sure we know where IT is going in here. Let's go to iPark. Let's look at his outbound controls. Actually, hold on. Let me go back. He's a member of the IT group. Why you log me out? Come on, man. Dang it, you're killing me, Smalls. Let's go pull up iPark again. Dude, this crap used to be so hard before Bloodhound. I love Bloodhound. Okay. Actually, hold on. I need to see his memberships. Here we go. So what does the IT department have permission to? So IT has 3 members and a bunch of inbound permissions, but it's more or less a red herring. The help desk is the important one, but it's got the 2 outbound permissions, which give us access to service web and service CA in here. So the question is, do we need to actually keep going down this chain? Something we haven't done is we haven't run Certify. So let's go do that. Let's see. Where did I run Certify from last time? Hang on. Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna copy this command real quick. Copy. Let's go check it real quick. I'm gonna kind of prep this command in here. So. Let's see. Okay, so username is always at user@domain. All right, that's fine. Because what we'll do is we'll do it. I think we can do it this way. Let's do domain at let's see, user park, and then I believe we can use his hash right here. So it's tag hashes like this. Copy. Take that out, and then this will be dollar hash underscore park. Let's do that. So dollar hash underscore park, and then our target is, we'll just do DC, And then we'll go run this. We'll see if this is going to work. What was the command for that? Hang on. I'm running this in the wrong window anyway. Oh, you know why? Yeah, that's not working because this is the wrong terminal anyway. Copy. We were running everything over here. This is where all of our variables are actually set up. There we go. Target failed. What? Let's see. I think we need to use... Maybe we need to use domain in here. Let me try that.
Cillian Murphy's hilarious in interviews, no filter. I don't know who that is.
I've never even heard that name. All right, where are we failing in this? Well, actually, you know what we could do here is we could go change this a little bit. We could change this to just user impasse. That should work because doing a lot of this enumeration, we actually don't need this stuff. A lot of times you can do this enumeration from a particular user. So this would tell us what is vulnerable from... Let me echo that real quick. Yeah, that should be good. Dina's query name does not exist. Welcome.local. Come on, man. You can do this. Let me try the target in here. Hold on, what was the original format we used? Let's see. Oh, there's also the okay, so no, that was coercer. Trying to remember what the actual syntax was for certify. Oh, it changed it. Damn it. Crap monkeys. Oh, Cillian Murphy was the Scarecrow with Batman, or in Batman with Bane. The Peaky Blinders guy. Oh, okay. I've never seen any interviews, but I do like him. He's a pretty good actor. Hey, Pale, what's up, dude?
I'm back, baby.
Now, why is this having so much trouble here? Let me try this. Let's debug it and we'll see what happens. Connection timed out for LDAP? Really? No, not that, not that. Crap. I don't want to do that. I just want to double check the connection here. LDAP was working earlier. Don't tell me the system died on me. Still says it's running. Let's go double check it. Yeah, this shouldn't be having this much trouble. What? Well, Dixie got a foothold. All right, let me... Oops, I killed Dixie's VPN. I knew I should have renamed these sessions. Hang on. Hack the box VPN. I knew I should have renamed these. Rename. This would be X Smarter VPN. There you go. Now I won't forget what they're doing here. All right. Let me restart this VPN. They shouldn't be clashing for bandwidth. This machine is actually getting thrashed. Look at that. It's probably Bloodhound doing it, because honestly, Bloodhound is a bit of a resource hog. Hang on, let me go capture this real quick, since Dixie went ahead and got it. All right, so now, let's go try this. The VPNs actually may be clashing depending on their routing for the targets. Okay, now we're cooking with propane. Okay, so now let's go try Certify. Still failing. Now, what is this saying? Non-hexadecimal number in format at ARG position 0. Let me try this as the DC here. Come on, Certify. Damn it. All right, hold on. We actually may be able to go check this over in Bloodhound too. So if we go look at the domain, right? Welcome.local. Here from the domain, if we look at this, there we go. We've got some ADCS escalations happening here. Okay. Okay, so if we go from service CA, we can do an escalation 1 attack from that one. So we could do a password reset on service CA. I hate to kind of do that. I'm going to do it in the lab here. In a real life scenario, I would not do that. But we can use iPark to go do a password reset on service CA. Stop it. Stop it. Quit grabbing it. And then after we do that, then we can go basically, we can do an escalation 1 over to this guy right here. Just like that. But it is bothering me that Certify is failing. Let me look through this stack trace real quick. Let's see. DNS resolution. So DNS query does not exist. DCO1 welcome.local. Yes, it does. Hold on. Let me look at... Let me make sure Dixie didn't overwrite Etsy host in here. No, we've got it right there. Because Dixie will go through... Let me show you this. When I spin up Dixie, he knows that his first thing he wants to do is go set up a standard like hack the box DNS resolution over in the Etsy host file. But he's also been trained to not go stomp on everything and to make minor atomic changes and not go bust everything up. Let me take those out because he's done with that one. I think I actually, hold on, I may see the problem here. Let's see, because what did we target here? We targeted the DC. DCO1 welcome.local. Hang on, let me double check something quick. Grep for DC from Etsy hosts. Yeah, we see it in there. DNS query name does not exist. Yes, it does. Let me try something real quick. Dig for dco1.welcome.local at target. Yeah, it comes back. Comes back just fine. Why is it saying the DNS resolution is failing? Okay, let's change this real quick. So change domain to just welcome.local. Maybe that uppercase is tripping it up. Do y'all see the problem? Because I see the problem. And I feel stupid. Yeah. Yeah. The smoothest of brains happening right here. Anyway, this will be on the quiz later. What's the problem with the command? Nope. Certify is good. Nope, not a problem with find. Use of hash for the password? No, the hash should work just fine too. There you go. Epistemic anarchist for the win. Yes. Welcome.local at eHills. There is no eHills domain. I'm an idiot. Not only, well, actually, so there was two things. I did have the password wrong because it was trying to use eHill instead of passwords park, and the pass was wrong. But yeah, so I had a couple things mixed up. So a lot of y'all got it. The main one was that the username and the domain were flip-flopped. There we go. That looks better. So I park at welcome.local with his hash. All right, now let's fire this. The creds were wrong and the username and domain were backwards. I am a professional. I am a pro hacker. Now, this is actually going to be really cool because, so over here in Bloodhound, right, we can see that there is an escalation 1 happening from service CA over to the domain, meaning we can basically go impersonate anybody using escalation 1. But, and if we get, for some reason, got access to the administrator, we can do an escalation 4. However, in here, whenever we run this, it's only going to show us what's vulnerable from him. Could not find any certificate templates. Yeah, there's plenty in here. If I take out the vulnerable part in here, in fact, I'm going to take out the standard out too. We'll let it write it to a file. We'll go look at the file on disk. It's going to go grab everything in there. So what we'll do is we'll go look at, let's see here. I believe this one will tell us what this particular template is. Yeah, so here we go. So here's like how we do a certify request with that account in here. And then how we authenticate. Hold on, you can't see it because my big fat head's in the way. Here's how we would do this. So we'd use the username and password. We'd use the username and password for this account to go pull it. And then we got to tell it like what the actual template is. So we need to go figure out which one that is. But we should be able to see that after certify finishes. Here we go. So what we want to go look at is this file right here, certify.txt. So let's go open that up real quick. Here we go, certify.txt. If we come look at this one right here, we have an escalation 1. Actually, hold on, let me look at something because I always have to remember like which ones. And it's like enrollee supplies. So the principal has permission to enroll one or more certificate templates, allowing them to specify an alternative subject name using this. I wish it actually said like, oh, here we go. I forgot about this view. Here we go. Check this out. So it tells us like what we're members of, right? So if we look at this, let me zoom in here a bit. So service CA can enroll in the welcome template right here. The welcome template is published to the certificate authority. It is trusted for NT authentication. So, Ophidian? I think that's how it said. Hey, thanks for coming online, man. Welcome in. All right, so this guy right here, whoop, trusted for NT authentication, and then we can use that NT auth for this guy right here. So I believe it is this welcome template one in here. So let's go take a look at that real quick. So here's our welcome template, right? And it doesn't show it outright in here. Enrollment rights, service CA. So for this welcome template in here, we have to have enrollment rights. Service_CA has those enrollment rights. And this is the one we're looking for. Enrollee supplies subject. That's escalation 1. And in fact, the best place that I use as a reference for this is the Certipy wiki. Certipy. Let's come over here. And if we come over to Le Wiki, right here, and if we look at privilege escalations, escalation 1 is right here. It gives you a very good breakdown without having to go reference the certified pre-owned white paper from there. So escalation 1, stereotypical ADCS misconfiguration. Enrollee supplies subject. So the template has this flag enabled in the certificate template console, and that's supplied in the request under the subject name. It also needs to have these other ones in here: authentication EKU, permissive enrollment rights, basically meaning who has the rights to enroll in it. Well, service CA has the permissions to enroll in it. So if it meets these 3 criteria, there's one kind of extra one here basically saying like there's no security gates, like the CA certificate manager has to be approval, or there's an issuance requirement. Those are, you don't see them too terribly often. These are the big 3 that you got to have. Enrollee supplies certificate, it has to have the authentication EKU, which means basically you could use it for logging in authentication, use it to cut you a Kerberos ticket, and you have to have enrollment rights. So who has enrollment rights on there? Well, Service CA does. And what do we have? We have, let me find it real quick. We have a forced password change from iPark, since he's a member of Help Desk. We have a forced password change to Service CA. So we're going to walk through that real quick. In fact, hold on, let me see if I can do something real quick. Let's do a pathfind. We're going to see if this will work. From iPark to domain admin. Let's see. In fact, actually, hold on. I'm going to just try the domain itself. Welcome.local. Let me see what this will bring up in here. Yeah, there we go. So this is the exact chain we're going to be walking right here. iPark, member of Help Desk, can force a password change on Service CA, and then that will get us an ADCS escalation 1 over to welcome.local. So that's what we're working with here. Excellent. So let's go ahead and do that. So cool thing is, we come over here to the password change. We come over to Linux abuse. It tells us exactly which one would be good to use with this. Let's see. I think Bloody AD. I think Bloody AD could do that. Let me see real quick. I haven't actually got to use Bloody AD a ton. And in fact, I've been meaning to go do some code updates on it to have better... Oh, yeah, we can do it. Nice. Okay. In fact, here's where I screwed this up in the beginning. Let me bring that over here. And... Shut up, baby. I know it. Hey, Killa, what's up, dude? All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the DCIP. So that's going to be $target. Our domain. So we'll put in our domain right there. Our user, in this case, is going to be user park. And then, now one thing I need to know is, can we do the password hash with Bloody AD? User password. We could also do Kerberos. We could do a certificate with, I believe, a PFX file and TAC-K. I can't believe you made that a command, Gumby. Hey, Killa, happy Sunday, dude. Well, for anybody who got the chance to go to Defcon and is maybe traveling home, I hope you have safe travels. Huh. So in theory, actually, it will accept... In theory, actually, it will accept the password as the TAC-P parameter. Let's go try that real quick. So let's try that. I think, what do we have? We had hash park right here. And our target is going to be SVC _ CA. Is that the correct one? Let me make sure I got the SAM account name correct. Click on you. Let's see. Just to double check, SAM account name SVC _ CA. Perfect. And then our new password, which our new password is going to be this one. Why? Because, well, why not? And so we're going to go try this. So one thing I'll also do whenever I'm on a penetration test is I will try to have an Active Directory lab up in my like in my Ludus lab, so that if I want to go double check things, I can go run these commands and make sure I've got the syntax correct. So I'm not trying to figure out the syntax on the client system. Okay. Now, chances are we actually may need a colon right there. Oh, okay. Password changed successfully. All right. I didn't control C that fast enough, but apparently it worked. All right. Well, let's go test it real quick. Let's see if that works. We'll do an LDAP check to it. So we'll do this. Our user is now going to be SVC _ CA, and we're using the same password hash there. So, oh no, that's not the password we want to use. We want to use Harris's password. Yeah, okay, so it did work. It did change it. All right, cool. I wasn't sure if I needed this colon right here, and I was just going to double check it because I didn't know if Bash would tinker with it or whatnot, but no, it worked. Yeah, auto-magically. That's right. Cool. So now, what we can do is, we're going to go run certify again. But our user here, let me do one more thing. Let's do export. User _ SVC CA. That's going to be SVC _ CA. Let's do that. And I'm going to do one more in here. Like I said, normally on a real pen test, I would not do this, but it's a great learning example. I'm going to set that to pass Harris right there. And I just want to make sure it gets set correctly. So let's do that. Boom, just like that. Awesome. So now, one more check. I like to do a lot of confirmatory checks in here. So this will be user SVC CA, and this will be pass SVC CA, just to double check it. All right, cool. That worked. So now what we'll do is we'll bring up certify, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to do vulnerable standard out, but we're going to change this. So instead of user park, we'll do SVC. Oh God, what are you doing? No, 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 stop it. Damn it. Let's see. User. And then that will be at. Damn it. There we go. Backspace _ domain. Quit doing this. Quit. Stop it. You stop it. Hold on, I'm gonna do it this way. There we go. And we'll just take out the spaces. There we go. You saw nothing. Password. We gotta change the password. So, pass. There we go. Just like that. Now it should bring up that certificate 1 in there. Okay. What did I screw up now? Let's see. Oh, because I did hashes instead of password. Because I am the smoothest of brains. There we go. I never considered using variables to keep everything on hand without copy paste. I do it kind of not consistently, but I try to do it. And then you have to remember like which shell you're working in. So what I might do sometimes is I will have another source file in there and I'll call it like, so because when you load up, let's say like I'm going to use bash as the example, right? Let me clear this out real quick. So for example, like when you load up your bash RC, right? So you got your dot bash RC file, or this could be your ZSH RC, whatever. What you can do inside this is you can add another line that says source in there, and you could say like this is the we'll say like the client, let's say like client env, right? And then inside this file, then you could have all your exports in there. Export right there. So you can have all your various export files in there. So this way you tell the bash RC that, hey, every time it loads a shell, source this also, and then you could have those in there as well. Is this an easy lab? Oh yeah, this is an easy one. But for the most part, I'm tinkering around. I'm liking explaining everything that's going on with it. All right, here we go. So this is what I also wanted to show you, right? So we ran Certify earlier, right? And it didn't find any vulnerable templates. That's because when we ran it before, we ran it as iPark. Now we're running it as Service CA. So it's looking at it from a different perspective in here. So iPark has enrollment permit, or sorry, Service CA has enrollment rights. And this one also has enrollee supply subject right here. Boop. So we have that, and then we have, where's our EKUs in here? Client authentication. There we go. And if we want to double check that, we can pop back over to the wiki right here. And then I think it's, which one does this have? I believe it's because I forget what the client authentication one actually checks for in here, but that's what you can go through with it. So now it's flagging this welcome template as vulnerable because we checked it as Service CA. So that's something else I wanted to make you aware of. But like if you're doing these labs and you're like, oh, I don't see any vulnerable templates, the vulnerable templates depends on your point of view, which user you're using to pull the information from. So we could see over in Bloodhound that we had this, right? Come on. So we saw that, hey, Service CA has an escalation 1 over to the domain. So that's where this kind of whole thing came in from. We didn't see that the first time we ran Certify, but we do see it now. So, awesome. Let's see. What is the command? And by the way, this is a sample of the labs that Tyler over at HackSmarter, Mr. HackSmarter himself, great sensei, put up, and he put it free for Defcon weekend. So I told him, yeah, cool, we'll go run through this, man. It'll be a lot of fun. Let's see. Now, hold on, I gotta remember how to do this. The good news is, we get an example of it from looking at the Linux abuse right here. So let me grab that, and we'll bring it over to right about meow. Hang on, this way it brings it up a little bit higher for you guys to see it. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna use. Let's go ahead and craft this out. So this would be $, user underscore SVCCA at, let's see, domain right here. Our password, let's go ahead and drop that in. So that'll be pass underscore SVCCA, just like that. What's our CA in here? We do need that. So where's our certificate authority? Let's see. CA name is Welcome Tac CA. Copy. Just like that. We'll just drop that one directly in place. The target here is going to be the DC. template, and so we need to put in the template name, which the template name is welcome tac template. So we'll grab that, copy it. We'll drop that right there. And then who we want to impersonate is the key right here. So let's go find somebody that's actually in like the domain admins real fast. Let's see. Who do we have in the domain admins? Let's go find out who's in there. Who's our members? We have one member in there. Oh, it's just the administrator. Okay. Well, that's fine. We can use the administrator. So we'll go grab this guy right here. So we need to tell it like what the user principal name is that we're going to be impersonating. And I don't like that. I'm going to make it lowercase. Let's see. Administrator at welcome.local. I'm going to do it like that. Boom. Just like so. Okay. So this should be the command that we need. And what this is going to get us is this is going to get us another PFX file in here. So let's go ahead and... Nope, not like that. Let's echo this real fast just to make sure everything looks copacetic in here. Is there a Udemy on Bloodhound? There is not, but actually I wouldn't... One of the things I've been thinking about is doing like a couple of deep dive videos. They would be longer videos, but they would be like deep dives into Bloodhound, deep dives into Mythic, and put those up on the YouTube channel. So I think those would be super helpful because I think a lot of people like Bloodhound and they use it, but they don't necessarily go deep on it. So I've got a couple of those that I haven't planned them out yet, but I've been thinking about doing them. And then plus, then it's free. All right, how does this look? Let's see. User looks correct. Password looks correct. CA looks correct. Target looks correct. Actually, let me double check something real quick. Yeah, DNS name, DCO1, perfect. Okay, template is the welcome template, and we're going to impersonate the administrator at welcome.local. All right, let's just do a full send on this. And boom goes the dynamite. Let's see. Successfully requested certificate. Saving certificate and private key to administrator.pfx. Wait, did it work? Try using taxid. I don't think it actually worked in here. Yeah, and boom goes the dynamite. I love that meme. I try to sneak in fun, like silly meme callbacks and pop culture references to the videos whenever I do them, because I just think they're fun. Let's see. This has me using a VM of Kali Linux. It's interesting. I mean, I like my VMs. I thought I gave this one a little bit more power, so our CPU usage is pegged right now. Let me check something real quick. Yeah, it's probably Bloodhound just absolutely BTFOing it. Neo4j is kind of a memory hog in here. So, yeah, we're using a lot in here. Actually, let me see what the memory usage is. What's our memory footprint? Total, let's see. Use 7.3. Okay, so we're actually doing all right. I could probably go add a few more CPUs to this VM, and it would be good. But anyway, let's go take a look here. So yeah, I don't think our PFX actually worked in here. Let me do a double check something real quick. Go back. Go back. We may need to supply the SID for the administrator, but that's okay. If we need to do that, that's fine. Hang on, I'm stepping back through what we were doing in here. There we go. Let me double check something real quick, because I forget what the command is. This is a nice handy command reference. There we go. Okay, so it's certify auth. We give it the PFX file and then the DC IP. Okay, let's run that. Because I don't think that quite worked. Certify auth. And then what was it? Did it tack PFX? Why'd you close it? Come on, man. Yeah, tack PFX and then tack DCIP. Okay. PFX administrator, DCIP. That'll be our target variable. Let's see if it works. Hey, there we go. And in fact, after it did this, okay, so we actually did get a valid one. Okay, nice, nice. Let's go try that real quick. Copy. Let's do a quick NXC check on it. We'll do LDAP again. We'll do our target. Let's see. Domain is good. User, we need to change. So that's going to be administrator. And then rather than the password, we're going to do tag hashes, I think. I think that's it. Nope, that ain't it. Is it tag capital H? I thought that was it. Hey, there we go. Pwned. Nice. Okay, cool. Now that we've got that, what we can do is we can probably just evil WinRM over to that box. So let's do our user as administrator. I think we can use the same tac H here, and then let's do our target. I think I saw WinRM on there. We'll try it out. CPU, Intel or AMD? This box is using a dual Xeon processor setup. So this is actually running on my server down here. It's an old, beefy Dell Precision T7600. So I've offloaded a lot of stuff off of the main computer, the one you're seeing right here. This is actually a remote Chasm VNC session over into Ludus that's running everything. Ludus basically has full control over that Precision T7600. I've offloaded all the streaming stuff to a small NUC style computer that has a built-in AMD GPU. And then even like my AI agents, they run on a small NUC over here. Dude, I freaking love Ludus. In fact, that's another good idea. Hang on, where's my sticky notes? Hang on. Let me make a note of like what deep dive videos I want to do. Let's see. Deep dives. All right, so we want to do one on Bloodhound. Let's see. I want to do one on Mythic. Mythic C2. And then also one on Ludus. Now, I feel bad actually doing the one on Ludus because this computer has 256 gigs of RAM in it. I got that years ago when the RAM for this, because it's an older box and it was used RAM and it's ECC, so it cost even a little bit extra, but even then it was only like 90 cents a gig. So it wasn't that expensive to upgrade this box. And now everything, computer, anything is so flippin' expensive, man. It's insane. I have a full rack in my basement. Oh, damn. I do not have room for a rack. Sock makes tasty tea. Oh, crap. I just realized I got to do something. Is Peaches inside? She is inside. Hang on one sec, guys. I'll be right back. Hopefully, we're going to test out the Be Right Back screen. So far, all three streams have been rock freaking solid. Twitch, Kick, and YouTube are all rocking. So give me 1 second. We're going to try the Be Right Back screen. Hopefully, it's not going to nail the streams like it did the last time. So give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. Right, I'm back. I'm back. Guess who's back? Back again. Blaise is back. Tell a friend. Seriously, tell your friends. Come hang out. We have a lot of shenanigans. My biggest problem is the amount of power that the servers consume. Oh, yeah, dude. Let's see here. I think this will work. Let's see. Establishing connection to remote endpoint. Let's see if it'll work. Hey, there we go. Let's see. Let's see what we got on here. Hold on, what did it want us to get? It wanted us to get a user flag and a root flag. So where do we find the user flag? It wasn't in documents. Let's go look at Harris real quick. Maybe on, oh, actually, yeah, maybe on the desktop. CD to desktop. Hey, there we go. Cat user dot text. Boom. There we go. There she blows. Copy. Submit. Hurrah! 10 points. That means I'm best hacker, right? Okay. CD2 add administrator. And to the desktop. I wonder if this is case sensitive, actually. Let me see. Hey, it's not. Okay. Nice. Cat root dot text. Hey, there we go. Wunderbar. Look at that. Copy. Boom. Awesome. Cool. We've got 2 flags now. Great. All right. Let's go ahead and exit out of that. And let's go ahead and turn it off. Save Tyler a few shekels. All right. We'll turn that one off. Let's see. What's Arasaka here? Can we do Arasaka real fast? You know what I actually want to try? Okay, so this, let's look at the scope of ejectant. So you're a member of the HackSmarter Red Team. This penetration test will operate under an assumed breach scenario starting with valid credentials from the standard domain user Faraday. The primary goal is to simulate a realistic attack, identifying and exploiting vulnerabilities to escalate privileges from a standard user to a domain administrator. Okay. Cool. Let's go. Let's see, what's this one called? Arasaka. Arasake. Ah, I did that wrong. Damn it. You didn't see that. There we go. You've been pwned. That's right. Let me see what Dixie's got going. Okay, cool. Dixie finished another system. Let's see. Let's see. Any new memories? I want to see if Dixie got new memories. Let me capture that one real fast. Nice. All right. Let's go and stop that one. Let me get Dixie spun up on another one here. Dixie's got quite the backlog here. Actually, I'm going to hold off on launching another one there because I want to see what happens here. Oh, okay. Got a couple new memories there. Nice. All right. Let me export this log real quick. And then bust out of that. All right, hold on. I'm going to turn off the Hack the Box VPN. And just leave up the HackSmarter VPN here. In fact, I'm going to reboot the HackSmarter VPN. Did we start this one up? No, we didn't. Launch. Okay. Because we only got 30 minutes left, I'm going to let Dixie loose on this one. Because since these are all AD labs, I want to... You ain't seen nothing. Ophidian, you seen nothing. What do you see? Nothing. You can't see me. Anyway, can I get a rundown on Dixie? So Dixie is a custom hackbot I've been working on that is basically a very lightly customized Pi agent. And so eventually I will probably open source Dixie, but it's all kind of in a design phase right now. I'm still tinkering with it and still messing with it. But the idea is it's named after the character from Neuromancer, Dixie Flatline, because I just finished reading Neuromancer, which is probably why I'm so currently obsessed with Cyberpunk 2077 and so badly want to play it. But what I'm working on is going through and teaching Dixie how to work through different types of systems. Yeah, Harvey's retired. Harvey was one of my previous agents. Alfred is my current agent right now. But Dixie's kind of a specialized one. Dude, no, it looks so sick. And I'm dying to do a Street Kid Netrunner in there. I'm dying. So I've been trying to find a good Netrunner like playthrough on YouTube that I could at least vicariously enjoy. But I haven't really found one yet. Okay. Let's go see if we are in the right spot here. Let's try pinging that real quick. Okay. Cool, that worked. I'm actually going to exit out of this because what I want to do is... Let me clean up a bunch of stuff that I've been doing here. I got so many shells open. Let's exit out of here. CD2 Arasaka. Okay, I'm actually going to run Dixie inside of here. I want to see if Dixie can do this one, because it should be a fairly basic one right here. Actually, do I need to run? Actually, hold on. Let me bust out of this. Let me exit out of T-Mux here. And we'll, because Dixie has a little bit of a problem running inside of T-Mux. So I'll run it here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give Dixie the information and I want to see what he does with it. Because it's hard to get decent AD labs over in Hack the Box for him to do this. Okay. Let's see here. Run on a custom lab. It's not the normal Hack the Box. But similar. The target is an Active Directory system. Let's see. Let me just give it the IP address at this right here. So I want to see, since we've got such limited time left, I want to see what Dixie will do this. We see. So we've been provided starting creds. And let me grab a copy of this from Faraday. Is it Claude under the hood? No, it's a Pi agent under the hood. So, Pi agent. I think it's this one, pi.dev. Is this it? Yeah. So pi.dev, this is the one. And we tried a couple different coding harnesses. So tried Claude, tried Hermes. I think those were the big three that we tested out. And I liked Pi because Pi was so simple. It is the idea of allowing you to have a foundation and then build on top of it. So I've got Pi currently. I love this demo too, where it's like modifying the CSS on the page as it's running. This is a sick demo. But what I've got happening here is I've got Dixie, who's got built-in special tradecraft, let's say skills, for lack of a better term. And basically I'm stress testing it to see, is Dixie using the tradecraft skills that it's supposed to properly? This actually will be the first test outside of Hack the Box. So I want to see, does Dixie adhere too much like to the Hack the Box idea in this? Yeah, Monkey's the one who actually turned me on to Pi, and I really like it. It's been working pretty well. So I already see him running, got a Kerberos hash for alt service. Nice. So it's already started like just ripping into it. So we'll see if Dixie can maybe finish this one up before the end of the stream, because like I said, I haven't had a chance to run Dixie on too many different labs outside of Hack the Box. So since we've got a limited amount of time left, I wanted to check it. So it's trying a simple thing. It got a Kerberos hash, and now it's trying to crack it with John. So we might have to let it sit there for just a second, see if it gets it. Yeeted it goad. So there's a up and a downside to that. If you hadn't seen it, let me see. So for Game of Active Directory, the problem is Game of Active Directory is very well known and it's been out for years, meaning all the solutions to it are in the training sets for the models. Basically, they have it baked into their weights. They know how to solve it really easily. However, the guys over pulled Bjork sandwich. That is an awesome username. I love that. Thank you for coming online. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, so the guys at Orange Cyber Defense realized this, and the guys over at Dreadnought realized this. So what they did is they added a new variant to it. Let me see if it lists it here. Dracaris is a challenge lab. That one was pretty fun. I don't see it in here, but there is a variant to it called Dreadgoad. Let me see if I can find it real fast. No, not Dreadgoad. Ah, here we go. Oh, so this is a variant from the guys over at... Okay, I thought it was baked into... And here, I'll drop a link to this also. I thought it was baked into the original Game of Active Directory. Can Dixie solve medium or hard level boxes? Not hard. Not right now, at least. I haven't tried sending it against any hard boxes, but I have tried sending it against a couple of mediums, and it struggles. It completes about maybe 5% of them. So that's why I've got it running through a lot of the easies in there to start thinking through things and figuring out like where it struggles and where it sucks. And that's part of the memory process that's built into it, where it does the self-reflection, and then we look at like what are the memories it's forming? Is the memory system actually performing well? Things like that. So it does easy boxes pretty well. I say it probably solves 95% of those, but it's a big drop off when it goes to the medium boxes. Now I haven't run it against a ton of mediums either. I ran it against a couple. I'm estimating it probably has about a 5 to 10% completion rate on mediums. But also, I don't work on Dixie too much. I work on Dixie for fun in the background. But since I said we're running out of time for the stream, we've only got 20 minutes left. I was like, let's have Dixie take a run at this. Because as I'm walking through and explaining stuff, it's going to take me forever. Anyway, so to answer your question about letting it loose on Goad, the problem is the solutions to the Game of Active Directory are baked into the models. They understand that. So the guys over at Dreadnought created Dreadgoad, which I love the name of. And Dreadgoad is a way to create a basically randomized version of Game of Active Directory where it changes just about everything as much as possible in here. Let's see. Does it actually explain it in here? Hang on one sec. Let me see. Okay, so Dreadgoad extends basically the Game of Active Directory project. It also has AWS infrastructure automation, modular extension system. This is the big one right here, the variant generator. Create a graph isomorphic, basically meaning the same, lab copies with randomized entity names while preserving all the attack paths. So what happens is it doesn't see something like Jon Snow in there and realize, oh, this is a lab with Jon Snow. I'm in Game of Active Directory. Let me pull all those neurons down that reference Game of Active Directory from my training set memory, and I'll just go through and pwn it in one go. This way, you have all the same attack paths, but you've got everything changed in there. Will Dixie finish before the end of the stream? Oh man, who knows? Let's see. Try cyberpunk themed. Hang on one second. Let me see what it's doing real quick here. Now, one thing I have been meaning to go actually put into Dixie is, what is it? A more judicious use of subagents. So Pi by default doesn't have subagents, but I've added an extension to Pi to allow for subagents. Oh, what did you get on this? Let's see. Okay, so it got a Kerberos, but John didn't crack it. It went through and checked a bunch of CertiPi stuff. AI takeover template. Ah, dang it. It scrolls by so fast. We'll let it cook and then we'll kind of see what it's doing here. Can you stop. Go to the bottom. There we go. So right now it's looking like it's digging through GPO over in Sysvol, see if there's anything in there. Dixie was finished in 1865. Not that Dixie, Kim. Also, what's up, dude? Wait, is that RIP? Hang on. Oh, that is RIP. Okay, because I turned off the Hack the Box one. I wanted to make sure it got the correct one in here. So it looks like he's trying to set up a relay. I guess there was a stale relay process already up and running in the background. That's funny. Let's see. Currently, 4 people think Dixie will finish in time. Actually, no. 50% of people think Dixie will not finish. 38% think it will. And 13% said yes, but with help. Okay, we might have to give it some help. Let's see. So it's trying to see if it has Petit Patam or Coercer or DFS Coerce. Actually, I think we have... Where did we have Coercer? Did we put that in Tools? No, I think Coercer is just installed. Yeah. Let me send it a note. Coercer is installed on the system. Just use the Coercer command. I will give it a little bit of help because eventually Dixie will also have its own tooling system where everything is contained and it doesn't have to run like on, what is this? It doesn't have to run on like a Kali box. Hack the poll, I can vote multiple times. Of course, if you're not hacking, you're not trying. Let's see what it'll do here. So here's actually one of the things that I need to tell Dixie to stop doing is it tries to do these big find commands. Fine. Because when it does these huge finds against the root, it just absolutely eats itself and it takes a huge amount of time. All right, so now it's running Coercer. It's trying to figure out how to properly use Coercer. That's part of the things that Dixie will have in his learning set is how to appropriately use these tools. So it should have like a way to shortcut it without having to like run all the hack commands, run everything else like that. And so if you don't know who Dixie is a character from Neuromancer by William Gibson. If you've not read it, I highly recommend it. It is a hard read. There's a little bit of a trick you can use to get ahead of that, which is, in fact, hold on, let me do something real quick. There's 3 short stories that you can read to like get you in the proper headspace for Neuromancer, because Gibson just throws you into it and states everything is matter of fact in that world without a lot of exposition. So there's 3 short stories: Johnny Mnemonic, New Rose Hotel, and Burning Chrome. If you go read those 3 short stories and then go read Neuromancer, makes a lot of sense at that point. And apparently the poll is split 33% in all directions because probably Monkey went and probably hacked it. Yeah, so this Kali instance is... So the default Kali instance that runs inside of Ludus has a Chasm VNC server on it. So this is actually a web connection here. Let me show you. Show toolbar. So what I've done is I've actually just connected to an IP address here. You can't see it because it's real tiny, But this is a web interface. You can connect to it with any browser. I just have it embedded into this guy right here, into Royal TS. Hey, Bobby, what's up, dude? Let's see. Oh, I was gonna turn off Bloodhound because it's thrashing the CPU. Let me see. CD opt. Actually, hold on. Do I have it here? There it is. Let me go ahead and stop Bloodhound. Down. There we go. I'm going to turn off all the Bloodhound containers because you can see them. You can't really see it, but like up here, it's thrashing the CPU. It should chill out now. I win with 9 votes. Let's see. All right, so it's still trying to get the coercion to work properly over here. CPUs need a good thrashing from time to time. Don't they ever? Do I have H-top? I do. Let's see. I'm trying to remember which one it is here. Let's see. Let me see. F6. That's what I'm looking for. Sort by CPU. That was not what I wanted. I wanted to sort by CPU percentage. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Percent CPU. What the heck? We still have a bcrypt session working? Oh my god, kill that. No wonder why it's been thrashed. Hang on. F10. Kill all, John. Let me find what that process ID was. Admin.hash. Where was that running from? There should be anything. Oh, I bet that was probably left over from one of the boxes Dixie was running. Hang on. There we go. Oh, now all the CPUs are calmed down. There we go. And here I was blaming Bloodhound. Actually, hold on. There's another good idea. So, Dixie also has certain guardrails put in around it where Dixie would try to do P kills and it would get over these overly broad commands and it would kill itself. So, there's certain gates that are put into Dixie as well where it says, hey, you can't run that command. So, they would call that Dixie guard. Blocked because this full command line will kill this session if you don't do it correctly. So it warns Dixie on how to do it properly. It's like, oh, well, let me go find the process and then actually kill the PID. So it tries to get like overly aggressive with some things. Kids these days walk around with 40-ounce Stanley cups. When I was a kid, I got a 6-second sip from a rusty water fountain before going back to fighting our lives playing dodgeball. I mean, usually what I got is, like, you go knock on, like, one of the neighbors' houses and be like, hey, can I get some water from your garden hose? That's what we got. And you had to learn the hard lesson. You got to let that water run for a minute or two because you got to get all the hot water and the bugs out of that garden hose. And yes, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. So far, it looks like the nays are going to have this because Dixie's only got 9 minutes left on here. But this is actually a really cool test because when it's done, I'm going to have Dixie go through and check and see like what happened with it. That's right, because those garden hoses will suck up a lot of heat and dump it right into whatever water was sitting in that garden hose. Pi added a full screen TUI now, so it allows the cursor and footer to stay if you scroll up. Ooh. Ah. I still prefer tap water to bottled water. Oh yeah. Now I say that, but also I have I got a filter here in the house to try and help clear some of that because Dallas water's nasty. I love this. So this is one of the other things that Dixie tries to do in here. NTLMX is broken on this system. Let me write a custom relay script using Impacket directly. So a lot of times it like will either think that, let's see, Enkilo. I think that's what it is. Thanks for coming online, man. Welcome in. Hold on, let me try that. Settings. TUI mode. Full screen. Ooh. That actually does look much nicer. Okay. Oh, that's great. Because then I can actually see like what if it's actually still running down here. Okay. Cool. Handy. Very handy. You should try Johnson County water. I was down in the hill country this weekend and washed my hands in the restroom, and the sulfur smell was horrendous. Yeah, I got a buddy who lives almost dead geographic center of Texas. He's got a ranch down there, so we go down there and sometimes just shoot guns and go hunting. And yeah, his water's like all full of like radium and stuff. So yeah, we get that. And that was the problem I was having too, Monkey. It was bouncing around as like I was trying to like go through and check the back scroll and stuff. So it's still stuck on this coercion. And again, that's part of the problem that it has too. So what I'm thinking about doing here is, just as we're theory crafting for the rest of the night, letting Dixie run on this, is having Dixie take a little bit less of an active role in here and make a more judicious use of sub-agents. So what I'm planning to do is have him run like 4 sub-agents that he can assign tasks to go investigate things. And then Dixie's job, once they return data up to him, will then be to basically verify it, verify and complete. You can tell I haven't used the... Basically come through and basically have them doing like enumeration, recon, testing, gathering information, bringing that back up to Dixie so that he can then basically finish whatever the kill chain is in here. Still try to get that coercion from the DC. Good luck, little buddy. My wife's family has 286 acres in the hill country. Damn! Hey, Kilovolts, thanks for coming online, man. Unfortunately, we're about to wrap up here. We got about 5-10 minutes left in the stream, and then I got work in the morning, so I can't stay up all night hacking away with y'all, unfortunately. But thank you for coming in. I appreciate it, man. Let's see. Dude, the hill country has gotten stupid expensive, though, here in Texas, because a lot of folks are just moving down there, right? They want to be near that Austin, San Antonio area. Let's see. Yo, Doc, I can't use your CLI, so I'm just going to create my own custom script, hope it's cool, and just let you know in the case. Eventually, also, one thing I'll be working on is, like, just evolving Dixie's, like, tradecraft and thinking and methodology, and eventually building it into a web UI in there. Let's see. Hey, Hawks, thanks for coming online, man. Welcome in. I love the dial-up sound. That is the sound of my youth. 56K modems, where it was at for the longest time. You were only adopted the lag. I was born into it, molded by it. I didn't have high-speed internet till I was already a man. Oh, dude, I never had the you got mail because I always went through and changed it to something stupid like a farting noise because how old was I? I don't know. It's like 12, 13, you know, and farts are the epitome, the peak of comedy when you're that age. Oh, dudes. So, Agent Zero. So, to catch anybody up who's new under the stream, Agent Zero is my oldest son, who is 8 years old. We're putting the kids to bed. Agent Zero is 8, Honey Badger is 5. We're putting them to bed. We're doing bedtime stories, snuggling in bed. Agent Zero stops in the middle of bedtime stories, gets up, goes over to the little fan he's got in his room, angles it very carefully, hikes up one leg, and just blasts a huge fart right into that fan that he has very carefully pinpointed towards Sock, my wife, her head. And then just proceeds to start dying laughing, doubled over with laughter. And my poor wife, who grew up with no brothers, is like, I'm surrounded by nothing but disgusting boys. Yeah, tactical flatulence, that's right, monkey. Absolutely savage. Honey Badger will do this something similar, though. He'll act like he's being all sweet and snuggly, and he'll go crawl in Sock's lap, and he's like, ah. And then all of a sudden, she'll just feel it. And she's like, did you just come snuggle me so you could fart on me? And they think it's absolutely hilarious. I farted in the car this weekend. I love having driving controls over the window locks. Dude, and it's not like I feed them a ton of junk food, but man, they've got some rankness to them. He's still stuck on this coercing DC. You got 2 minutes left, Dixie. I think the nays are going to have it. And so this would be something like Dixie should be delegating to a sub-agent while managing the other sub-agents and then bringing back and verifying the results like as they work. That's what should be happening. How much of this has this burned on my Olama subscription? Let me see. Well, it just reset, so I don't know. But in the last 5 hours, we've used 31.1% of it. And that's just while Dixie was running in the background. So, not a ton. One of the other things that Dixie also has is he loads up a custom skill for like hack the box challenges. And in there, he's explicitly forbidden from searching for solutions to the boxes or anything with the name in it. And then also there's a secondary instruction that if he's doing a web search and he finds information about the box, he's to disregard it. Now, that's not foolproof, but the idea there is to let Dixie actually go through the problem-solving process, figure out what sucks, form memories to avoid suckiness, and then iterate over that. I became a father 3 months ago. Looking forward to all that stuff. I know, right? One of my coworkers is currently expecting her first son. And so I was telling her, I was like, feel free to ask me questions. And actually, the first question I asked her was like, do you have brothers? And she did. I was like, okay, cool. You're already way more prepared for this than my poor wife was. But I've been through this song and dance many times. Feel free to call me. You have my phone number. Let's see. So there was 1.5 million dozen eggs produced in Texas farms by Midwest Poultry Services that have been recalled due to salmonella outbreaks. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw that. And what sucks is, usually when we buy eggs, because I've got two very fast-growing boys, and then Sock and I have eggs for breakfast, we usually buy them like in the 60 count. Well, the 60 count comes wrapped in plastic. And so the only way to track, like, if we were in that affected lot would be to go fish the plastic out of the trash that's already been picked up. So basically, no way. So when that happened, I was like, we're going to try it. Oh, Dixie, you're out of time. We are at time for ending the stream. Still trying to do another John process. Let me check something real quick. Interesting. So I know your John process is running. Let's see. I love also this that he went and created like a custom little password mutation to throw in there. Creating a comprehensive cyberpunk-themed word list. I don't know where you got the cyberpunk idea from. Oh, Shy Hat's on? Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll go right over to Shy Hat. Let me kill... Hold on, the ads are trying to play. Snooze. Let me kill those. Yeah, unfortunately, guys, we got to wrap up there. Dixie, you're growing, but you're not quite there. You can't put on the big boy pants yet. So, let me go ahead and get that set up. I do like Shy Hat. Shy Hat is good peoples. Okay, cool. Got the Shy Hat right up. What's he working on? Coding and Hangout? Okay, perfect. All right, guys. Everyone, y'all have a fantastic week. I enjoyed going through a bunch of Tyler's labs. In fact, I'm probably going to keep going through, maybe not on stream. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll see what we're going to do. Actually, next weekend, I know what I'm going to do. We're going to go through Lakera's Agent Breaker. So we're going to look at some of those AI exploits because they used to have Gandalf and they retired Gandalf. So I want to go see what's new in the Agent Breaker. But everybody have a fantastic week. Remember, tomorrow is Monday, which means we are starting Crushing It mode. We do not go weekly into the week. We go Crushing It into the week. And I want y'all to go out there and absolutely smash it. I'll see y'all Wednesday night for the news stream. If you got any fun news stories that you want to cover, drop them over in the Discord thread. There's a news thread for every week in there. Go drop them in there. I try to cover as much as possible. Keep our situational awareness of what's going on in the security world because right now it's changing pretty damn fast. But everyone, y'all have a fantastic week. When you get over to Shy Hat stream, drop a bunch of happy hackers and cookie monsters. Yes, and crushing it. And also, one more thing I want y'all to remember, and that is, I love ya. Peace.